Do you know that 63% of the world's wealth was captured by the richest 1%, while 37% went to the bottom 99%?
Today, we are exploring social stratification, the arrangement of individuals in society, and the phenomenon of inequality that affects us all.
In this video, we'll delve into the causes of inequality, its impacts on different groups, and potential solutions to help illustrate these concepts. So let's take a closer look on our poster. The dark side is the underprivileged, and they work very hard doing different kinds of physical labor work like farming and construction, but most of the money that they make went into the pockets of the big companies.
As the time passed, people began to perform more non-physical labor work, such as office work, making them become wealthier. However, the most of money that they made is also going to the pockets of the rich due to different expenses, and this leads to resources imbalance, social stratification, and inequality in our society. Regarding this issue, we are going to do a SWOT analysis and state the changes we need. For the weaknesses, there is governance complexity. Globally, countries and regions have significant differences in political system, economic development levels, cultural tradition, and social values. This diversity makes it impossible to adopt uniform models. Moreover, the differences in economic development level have led to huge differences among countries in their resource allocation capability and demand priorities. Developed countries may pay more attention to environmental sustainability and improvement of social welfare, while developing countries may need to find a balance between economic growth and poverty reduction.
Further, the diversity of cultural traditions and social values also affects people's perception and acceptance of inequality, as well as the attitudes towards governance measurements. For example, some cultures emphasize collectivism and focus on harmony and stability of social as a whole, while other cultures places more emphasis on individual freedom and competition. This makes it necessary to fully consider the local cultural background and the social psychology when formulating and implementing governance policies, which increases the governance burden, complexity, and difficulty.
For the opportunities, the increase of globalization diverse cooperation. The wave of globalization has led to increasingly close economic, cultural, and political connection between countries, creating a broadening space for cooperation to solve inequality and governance issues. In the economic field, cross-border trade and investment allow countries to optimize the allocation of resources and global scale. Through industrial transfer and technology diffusion, developing countries have the opportunity to undertake the industrial transfer of developed countries, acquire abundance, technology, and management experience, and promote their own economic development.
For the threats, the interest group would hinder and defend their own interests. In an unequal social structure, vested interest group often rely on the economic, political, and social resources they control to vigorously maintain the existing interest pattern and resist the governance changes that may harm their interests. These groups may include large enterprises, privileged classes, and industry monopolies. In the economic field, in order to maximize profits, the large enterprises may use their market dominance to hinder the implementations of fair competition policies and oppose measures such as raising the minimum wages and strengthening labor production regulations to maintain low-cost labor advantages and exacerbate the conflicts between the rich and the poor.
At the political level, vested interest groups influence the policy-making process by lobbying politicians and providing political donation to ensure that policies are biased toward their own interests. For example, in order to safeguard their own economic interests, some fossil fuel companies may lobby the government to slow down support for the development of renewable energy and hinder the introduction of policies related to climate change. This not only poses a threat to environmentally sustainable development, but also further intensified unequal distribution for social resources. And the negative impact of climate change tend to become more by disadvantaged groups. Their resistance makes it difficult for many policies aimed at promoting social equality to become effectively implemented and becomes a powerful resistance to the governance of inequality.
For the impacts of economic fluctuations, first, there are many unstable factors in the global economy, such as economic crisis, trade frictions, and exchange rate fluctuations, which may lead to a more uneven distribution of resources, thereby further exacerbating inequality.
During the economic recession, companies face operating difficulties and often take measures such as layoffs and salary cut to reduce costs. These cause a large number of ordinary workers to lose their job or have their incomes significantly reduced, while vulnerable groups such as low-income workers, temporary workers, and the unemployed are affected. The impact is the most severe.
At the same time, an economic recession may lead to a reduction in government's fiscal revenue. In order to stimulate economic growth, the government may cut social welfare expenditures, which makes the lives of the poor people who rely on the welfare assistance more difficult. Second, economic fluctuations also affect the changes in asset prices. Rich people usually own more assets, such as real estates and stocks. During economic boom, raising asset prices make the wealth rapidly increase in value. While during economic recession, although asset prices may decline, they tend to have a stronger risk tolerance and resource reserves to deal with the crisis. In contrast, the poor are more likely to fall into the poverty trap while during economic fluctuations due to the lack of assets or fewer assets, making it difficult to improve their economic conditions.
In addition, economic instability may also trigger social unrest and political instability, further weakening the government's ability and willingness to deal with inequality issues, making inequality problems more serious under the impact of economic fluctuation, forming a vicious cycle. To solve this problem, we require a key condition to achieve that, which is universal education. Education is a core element to break class stratification and promotes equal opportunities, and is an important way to improve personal abilities and socio-economic status. So, ensure that everyone has access to high quality, equitable education, regardless of their background, is fundamental to build a fair society.
This requires the government to increase investments in education, especially in the poor areas and the disadvantaged groups, improve education infrastructure, and provide sufficient education resources such as teachers, teaching materials, and teaching aids.
For the required changes, we need to change in social attitudes. Changing traditional hierarchical concepts and tolerance of inequality is the ideological basis for achieving social equality governance. Society should advocate the values of equality and tolerance, and cultivate people's awareness of equality and social responsibility starting from families, schools, and all levels of society.
In the family, parents should lead by example, educate their children to respect the individuality and rights of others, and abandon discriminatory concepts such as genders and race. Schools should incorporate equality education into the curriculum system and teach equality to students through various forms such as classroom teaching and campus cultural activities, and the concept of fairness, and cultivate the critical thinking skills and sense of social justice.
Moreover, the media and cultural industry should also play an active role in spreading positive social values. Through cultural products such as movies, TV series, and literary works, we can create an equal and diverse social image, guide the public to pay attention to the rights and interests of disadvantaged groups, and oppose any from the discrimination and unfair treatment.
Also, encourage the public to actively participate in social welfare activities and experience the significance of helping others and promoting social equity, and create a good atmosphere in which the whole society jointly pursues fairness and justice. Only when everyone recognizes the value of equality from the bottom of the hearts and translate into practical actions can we truly achieve a change in social concepts and provide a strong spiritual impetus to solve this problem of inequality. For personal actions, first, we need self-education and improvements. We can participate in various academic lectures, seminars, and courses, communicate and interact with experts, scholars, and activists to broaden our horizons and way of thinking. Using online learning platforms to learn relevant courses such as content related to inequality and governance in sociology, economics, and political science, and other disciplines to improve our theoretical level.
At the same time, pay attention to hot social events, analyze the inequality issues involved and the deep-seated reasons behind them. Combine theoretical knowledge with practical cases, improve your sensitivity and analytical ability to social issues, and lay the foundation for participating in solving inequality issues.
Promoting equal values is crucial. In our daily lives, everyone should be an active communicator of equal values. Within the family, we advocate equality among family members, respect each other's opinions and choices, share housework together, and break the traditional division of gender roles. In school, we encourage students to respect and tolerate each other, oppose bullying and discrimination on campus, and create a harmonious and equal learning environment. In the workplace, support fair recruitment, promotion, and salary systems, oppose workplace discrimination such as gender discrimination, age discrimination, academic discrimination, and provide equal development opportunities for colleagues.
Lastly, the government should formulate and improve relevant policies and regulation to protect citizens' basic rights and promote social equality. For example, in the field of education, increase investment in areas with weak educational resources to promote educational equality. In the economic field, use tax policies, social security systems, and other means to adjust the gap between rich and poor and achieve the reasonable distribution of resources. At the same time, market supervision should be strengthened to prevent monopolization and unfair competition from exacerbating inequality.
To conclude, we hope that one day inequality and social imbalance could be solved and we can live in an equal world.